Dear children, we have already started with electrochemistry chapter, and you have seen in the previous classes that what is the difference between electrochemical and electrolytic cell, construction and functioning of electrochemical cell, salt bridge and its functions, representation of an electrochemical cell, then EMF of cell as well as standard EMF of cell, difference between EMF and potential difference. We have also discussed electrode potential, reference electrode, and measurement of electrode potential by connecting it with reference electrode. Then we have also discussed electrochemical series and its applications, then Nernst equation, and two relations. One is between standard cell potential and equilibrium constant, and other is between Gibbs free energy and cell potential. So now we'll start with the second part of the chapter. Before starting with the today's topic, I would like to discuss some terms. One of the term is resistance. Every conducting material, it offers some obstruction to the flow of electricity. It doesn't allow the flow of electricity, which is called as resistance. So I can write down here that all conducting materials have some obstruction to the flow of electricity, which is called as resistance. We have already done in physics that resistance of any conductor is directly proportional to the length of the conductor and inversely proportional to its area of cross section. So mathematically it is written as resistance is directly proportional to length and it is inversely proportional to area of cross section. So I can write down R is proportional to L by A. This can further be written as R is equal to, when I remove proportionality sign, then rho comes here. This symbol is called as rho. Rho L by A. And you know, rho in this case is actually resistivity. So I can write down here rho is equal to R into A upon L. So I'll define all these terms. I'll explain the meaning of all these terms. Rho is resistivity, R is resistance, A is area of cross section, and L is length of conductor. How will you define resistivity, which is represented by rho? If I say length of the conductor is 1 centimeter and area of cross section is 1 centimeter square, then rho becomes equal to resistance. So how will you define resistivity? Rho. देखो इसको हम बोलेंगे resistivity is defined as the resistance offered by the conductor of whose length is 1 centimeter and area of cross section is 1 centimeter square. So I'll say resistivity is defined as resistance offered by a conductor whose length and area of cross section is unity. When length is 1 centimeter and area of cross section is 1 centimeter square, that together they are making a volume. Area into length is volume. Volume is 1 centimeter cube. So it is also defined as resistance offered by centimeter cube of a conductor, because length is 1 and area of cross section is 1 centimeter square. So there is one more definition of resistivity. I'll say resistivity is also defined as resistance of 1 centimeter cube of a conductor. Do you know what are its unit? Resistivity ki just see, resistivity is equal to R into A by L. Resistance, the unit is ohm. Area of cross section is centimeter square. Length is centimeter. So it becomes ohm centimeter. So its unit is ohm centimeter. But according to SI unit, we can also say its unit is ohm meter. How will you convert ohm meter to centimeter? Already you know 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter. So I'll say 1 ohm meter is equal to 100 ohm centimeter. I can also write down 1 ohm centimeter is equal to 10 raised to power minus 2 ohm meter. As we know about the resistance, do you know what is 1 upon R? That is inverse of resistance. That is called as conductance. Let's talk about conductance. What is conductance? It is a measure of the ease with which current flows through the conductor. You know how easily current is flowing through the conductor, and it is inverse of resistance. So I can write down 1 upon R and put the value of R from here. What is R here equal to? R here is rho L by A. So 1 upon rho into L, and this is A. 1 upon rho is actually equal to kappa. Kappa is conductivity. 1 upon rho is actually conductivity. Inverse of resistivity is conductivity. So this is represented by a symbol kappa. And this is A by L. And this is G. So this is one of my formula. Again, you need to learn this formula. G is conductance. And K, kappa. Kappa is conductivity. Sometimes it is also called as specific conductance. A is area of cross section. And L is length of conductor. So conductance is equal to conductivity into A by L. Let's define what is conductivity. So I'll write it as Kappa is equal to conductance into L by A. If I say L is equal to 1 centimeter and area of cross section is 1 centimeter square, then kappa is equal to G. Kappa is what? It is conductivity and G is conductance. So how will you define conductivity? Conductivity is defined as conductance offered by a conductor whose length and area of cross section is unity. Or as I told you earlier, if length and area of cross section is unity, so 1 centimeter into 1 centimeter square, it becomes 1 centimeter cube, that is volume. So I can also say, as conductivity is inverse of resistivity, it can also be defined as conductance of 1 centimeter cube of the conductor. Whereas you can also say conductivity is conductance offered by a conductor when length and area of cross section is unity. What are the units of conductivity? Let's write down. Kappa is equal to G into L upon A. Here it is, G is the conductance. Conductance is inverse of resistance. So it is 1 upon ohm. Length is measured in centimeter. Area of cross section is centimeter square. So here it comes out to be ohm inverse centimeter inverse, which is the opposite of conductivity, is actually opposite of resistivity. What is the unit of resistivity? Resistivity unit is ohm meter, ohm centimeter, and inverse of ohm centimeter is ohm inverse centimeter inverse. So this can also be written as kappa is equal to G into this L upon A is called as cell constant. So I can write down conductivity is equal to conductance into cell constant. Do you know what is a cell constant? Beta, cell constant is generally not calculated from the values of L and A, because these are difficult to be measured for a given cell. So it is like more convenient to measure the value of cell constant by measuring the conductance of if you measure the conductance of a standard solution whose conductivity is already known. There are different values of cell constant at different temperatures. And you know, cell constant is represented by G star. So conductivity is represented by kappa and conductance by G and cell constant by G star. So this also you need to learn. Beta, let me revise what we have done, because it is very important to learn the symbols as well as their units. One we have done is resistance. Resistance is written by R and its unit is ohm. Then we have done resistivity, which is represented by rho and its units are ohm centimeter or ohm meter. Then we have done conductance. It is represented by G and its units are 1 upon ohm, that is ohm inverse. Then we have done conductivity. It is written by kappa and its units are ohm inverse, centimeter inverse, or ohm inverse, meter inverse. And in this case, how will you convert ohm inverse, centimeter inverse to ohm inverse, meter inverse? Just check. Generally we say 1 ohm centimeter is equal to 10 raised to power minus 2 ohm meter. You already know the relation. 1 centimeter is equal to 1 by 100 meter. But when there is inverse, so if you put inverse on both the side, see what it happens. By putting inverse, you will get here 1 ohm inverse centimeter inverse is equal to 10 raised to power 2 ohm inverse meter inverse. So here 1 centimeter inverse is equal to 10 raised to power 2 meter inverse. So you need to learn the formula. One is rho is equal to Ra upon L. Another is conductance is equal to conductivity into A by L, or you may learn here that conductivity is equal to conductance into cell constant, which is K is equal to G into G star. Children, as we are talking about conductance, it is of two types. One is electrical conductance. And other is electrolytic conductance. Beta, according to electrical conductance, we can classify the material into three. One is conductors, another is insulators, and third is semiconductors. Beta, what are conductors? The substances which allow the passage of electricity through them are called conductors. So some metals are there, they are very good conductors. Some alloys are also there, even they are conductors. What about insulators? Insulators are the substances which do not allow the current to pass through them. And generally non-metals are there, or I may say glass is there, and ceramic. There are certain substances which are in between the conductors and insulator. Their conductivity is between conductors and insulators, and they are generally you may say silicon or doped silicon or some gallium arsenide. Now we'll study what are the factors which affect the electrical conductivity. Factors affecting electrical conductance. One of them is nature and structure of matter. Nature and structure of matter. Then it also depends upon number of valence electron per atom. Temperature also affects the electrical conductance. Beta, in chemistry we'll discuss electrolytic conductance in detail. See, what is electrolytic conductance? Children, in aqueous solution or in molten state, when electricity is passed through the electrolytes, it splits into oppositely charged ions. If I'm talking about KCl, it ionizes as K plus and Cl minus. So actually the movement of ions is responsible for the conduction. So I can say that the number of ions which are present in the solution, due to the freedom of the movement of these ions, electrical conductance happens. So in this case we can say number of ions which are present in the solution, they are responsible for electrolytic conductance. What are the factors which affect electrolytic conductance? So different factors are there. Like one of them is nature of electrolyte. If there is strong electrolyte, naturally it will ionize to a larger extent, and they will show higher electrical conductivity, whereas degree of ionization is very low in case of weak electrolyte. So I can say strong electrolyte show high conductivity, high conductance as compared to weak electrolytes. Another factor is size of ions. You know, if the size of ion is higher, then they won't be able to move freely with a high speed, so conductivity will be less. And there is one more factor along with this, and their solvation. So I'll say size of ion is inversely proportional to conductance. More the size, lesser is the conductivity. If the size is more, they won't be able to move. What do you mean by solvation? Solvation means how solvent molecules are surrounding a particular ion. Suppose this is a particular ion which is having high charge density. Charge density means charge upon size, where the size is small but the charge is more, and the solvent molecules are surrounding it. These are the solvent molecules. If they surround it, then it becomes solvated. And if some ions are highly solvated, if they are more surrounded by water molecule or by solvent molecule, it won't be able to move. So the same thing is here. As the size is inversely proportional to conductance, solvation is also inversely proportional to conductance. More the solvation of the ion, lesser is the conductance. One more factor is there, that is temperature. You know, more the temperature, more is the degree of ionization, more ions will be provided, and their mobility will be more, and conductance will be high. So shall I say conductance is directly proportional to temperature. Beta, fourth factor is concentration of solution. Concentration also plays an important role, but this we'll discuss it in detail maybe in the next episode of the chapter. Children, we have just discussed metallic as well as electrolytic conduction. Now make it more clear by making some points of difference. Like one of them in this case, conduction is through movement of electrons. मेटल में कंडक्शन कैसे होता है? थ्रू मूवमेंट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन. सो हु इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर मेटेलिक कंडक्शन? मूवमेंट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. Whereas in electrolytic conduction, it is through movement of ions. Second point of difference is, in this case, even if the electrons are moving from one place to another, there is no change in the chemical properties of the conductor. No change in chemical properties. Whereas in this case, when it get ionized, there is a change in its properties. So here in this case, you will say decomposition of electrolyte take place. So properties are also changed. Third point of difference is, in this case, no transfer of matter is there. Whereas in this case, ions, they get transferred. So transfer of matter is there. One more difference is there. If you increase the temperature of metals, their conductivity decreases. Why? Because let me write down. If increase in temperature decreases the metallic conduction. This is an important question. Why there is decrease in metallic conduction with the increase in temperature in case of metals or metallic conduction? The answer is because vibration of positive kernels offer resistance or provide obstacle बेटा इस केस में जैसे ही हमने टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज किया, इलेक्ट्रॉन्स तो मूव ज़्यादा करेंगे ही करेंगे, उसके साथ साथ इलेक्ट्रॉन निकलने के बाद जो आपका पॉजिटिवली चार्ज्ड आयन रह जाता है, दैट ऑल्सो कीप्स वाइब्रेटिंग ऑन इट्स ओन axis, on its own point, and that provides resistance to the movement of electron. So hence in this case, conduction decreases with increase in temperature, whereas in this case you will see more the temperature, increase in temperature, what does it do? It increases degree of ionization as well as mobility, and increases mobility of ions. And if these two things are there, they are mobile also, more number of ions are produced, then conduction increases. In metallic conduction, this conductivity is generally high. You have seen in case of copper wires and aluminium wires and in all metals, conductivity is very high, whereas in this case it is generally low. These are some of the differences between metallic and electrolytic conductivity. Children, the conductivity of a metallic conductor has a definite value at a given temperature. If I talk about copper metal, it has a definite value of conductivity at a specific temperature. In case of electrolytic solution, when I am talking about electrolytic conduction, the conductivity not only depends on the temperature, but it also changes with the change in concentration. So when concentration plays an important role, then only conductivity is not the appropriate term to define, but there is a need to understand molar conductivity also, because molarity is affecting the conductivity of the solution. So I want to discuss here molar conductivity. Beta, what is molar conductivity? Generally they say if there are two electrodes and which are kept in a solution, then they should be at unit distance apart and their area of cross section is large enough to contain enough volume so that it may contain 1 mole of electrolyte. Molar conductivity is the conductance of a solution which is kept between electrodes at unit distance apart and having area of cross section large enough to accommodate the volume which contains 1 mole of electrolyte. So let me write down this. It is molar conductivity. It is defined as the conductance of a solution kept between which solution, which is kept between two electrodes, kept between two electrodes at unit distance apart and having area of cross section large enough to accommodate sufficient volume of the solution that contains 1 mole of electrolyte. Children, molar conductivity is the conductance of that solution which is placed between two electrodes which are 1 unit distance apart and they have enough area of cross section so that they have enough volume, sufficient volume which can contain 1 mole of electrolyte. This is called molar conductivity and it is represented by half lambda m. We represent it like this. What we have done earlier is conductivity. How will you find out the relation between conductivity, which is represented by kappa, and molar conductivity, which is represented by lambda m? So let's talk about it. Relationship between conductivity and molar conductivity. Beta, you already know in this case what we have discussed just now, which is molar conductivity, V volume of the solution is there because they are saying enough volume should be there which is placed between the two electrodes which contains 1 mole of electrolyte. So here the volume of the solution is V centimeter cube. So V centimeter cube of the solution contains 1 mole of electrolyte, which is placed between two large electrodes, which are again placed 1 centimeter apart from each other. This is what we have discussed regarding molar conductivity. And now I'll talk about conductivity only, which is represented by kappa. What is conductivity? It is the conductance offered by 1 centimeter cube of electrolyte. Just consult your notes, what we have done earlier. 1 centimeter cube में जो भी conductance होगी, that will be called as conductivity. But here, what is the volume? It is not 1 centimeter cube. It is V centimeter cube. So conductance offered by 1 centimeter cube of electrolyte is kappa, whereas conductance offered by V centimeter cube is kappa into V, conductivity into volume, and this term is given new term which is called as lambda m, molar conductivity. So what is molar conductivity? It is the product of kappa, which is conductivity, into volume of solution. Which solution? Which is placed between two electrodes and which contains 1 mole of electrolyte. Beta, what is V? We'll express V in terms of concentration. Concentration here is expressed in molarity. What is molarity? Some number of moles dissolved in 1 liter of solution. 1 liter means 1 decimeter cube, and 1 decimeter cube means 1000 centimeter cube. So shall I say volume of the solution which contains C mole of the electrolyte has what volume? It is 1000 centimeter cube. And what is the volume of the solution? If the number of moles are 1, then you will say 1000 centimeter cube divided by C. So my volume here comes out to be 1000 centimeter cube upon C. Putting this value into equation number 1, my equation becomes lambda m is equal to kappa, and in place of volume I'll put here 1000 upon C. So now my equation is kappa into 1000 upon, concentration here can be expressed as molarity. So my equation here is lambda m is equal to kappa into 1000 upon molarity. If you see what are the units of molar conductivity, molar conductivity is, kappa is expressed as Simon. What is Simon? Simon is actually ohm inverse. That is called as Simon. It is, what is it? S-I-E-M-E-N. It is Simon. What is Simon? Ohm inverse. So I can write down kappa is ohm inverse centimeter inverse. It can be written as Simon centimeter inverse. And what is 1000? 1000 is centimeter cube upon decimeter cube. If you see the relation between this, it comes out to be 1000. Why? I am saying so because 1 decimeter is equal to 10 centimeter. But if I take cube on both the sides, it becomes 1 decimeter cube is equal to 10 raised to power 3 centimeter cube. So centimeter cube upon decimeter cube is actually equal to 1000. And what is molarity? Molarity generally we express as moles per liter, and 1 liter is equal to 1 decimeter cube. This also you should know. 1 decimeter cube is equal to 1 liter. So remember all these terms. So if you calculate this, units of molar conductivity comes out to be Simon centimeter square mole inverse. Or in place of Simon, you can also write down ohm inverse. So I can also say ohm inverse centimeter square mole inverse. And we can also express volume in meter cube. Here I have expressed volume in centimeter cube, but the same way volume can be expressed in meter cube also. So 1 decimeter cube is equal to 10 raised to power minus 3 meter cube. And if you place the volume value here in this case, then my expression becomes kappa upon 1000 into molarity. In previous case, 1000 is in the numerator, whereas in this case it is in the denominator. So now lambda m is kappa upon 1000 into molarity, and by putting the value, what is kappa? It is ohm inverse meter inverse, or you can say Simon meter inverse. 1000 can be written as decimeter cube upon meter cube, and molarity can be expressed as moles per decimeter cube, and you know then your units will come out to be Simon meter square mole inverse. And how will you convert this meter square unit into centimeter square? You already know 1 meter is equal to 10 raised to power 2 centimeter, and if I make the square on both the sides, it comes out to be 1 meter square is equal to 10 raised to power 4 centimeter square. So I'll say 1 Simon meter square mole inverse is equal to 10 raised to power 4 Simon centimeter square mole inverse. Beta, there are certain noteworthy points. Beta, there are some important formulas which you need to learn, and numericals will be based on these formula. Like one of them is R is equal to rho L upon A, kappa is equal to G into G star. So we can also say conductivity is equal to conductance into cell constant, and molar conductivity is kappa into 1000 upon molarity or concentration. This is a very important formula, and its units are also sometimes asked, so you must remember the units also. It is Simon centimeter square mole inverse. Children, as we are talking about conductivity, how will you measure electrical conductivity experimentally? Let's see the diagram. It is the arrangement of Wheatstone bridge. You have done in physics also. These two are the fixed resistances. This is variable resistance, and the fourth resistance will be of this electrolytic cell or conductivity cell. So we want to measure the resistance of this electrolytic cell. So you already know, like, these two are fixed and this is variable. You know, these resistances are adjusted in such a way so that you get a zero value in the galvanometer. This is called as null detector, and once this happens, according to the formula, you know that R1 upon R2, this R1 upon R2 is equal to R3 by R4, and we can easily calculate R2. R2 is the resistance of electrolytic cell, so R2 is equal to R1 into R4 upon R3. So once we get the resistance of this electrolytic cell, inverse of resistance will give you the conductance. Beta, now you know the resistance of this electrolytic cell. Inverse of this resistance is called as conductance. And if you know the cell constant of this cell, then cell constant into conductance will give you the conductivity. One of the HOTS question can be asked here, that why do we supply AC source, why not DC source? So it may be noted here that direct current is not used here because it causes electrolysis, because electrolysis will happen here, and which will change the concentration of the electrolytic solution, and some polarization effects will come into this. So children, this is the end of today's class. Let me revise what we have done in this class. Children, see what we have done today. One is resistance, which is represented by R. Inverse of resistance is conductance, which is represented by G. We have also discussed resistivity, which is rho, and whose formula is R into A by L. And inverse of resistivity is conductivity, which is represented by kappa. So the formula here is conductance is equal to conductivity into A by L. Then we also know that L by A is cell constant. So conductivity is equal to conductance into cell constant. These are some important quantities and their units. Conductance is of two types, electrical and electrolytic, and there are factors which affect them, but in detail we'll discuss only electrolytic conductance. But before that, you should know the difference between metallic and electrolytic conductance. Then molar conductivity is an important term because it is valid for V centimeter cube of volume, whereas conductivity is for 1 centimeter cube of volume, and concentration is also employed in this. So molar conductivity is derived in this way: lambda m is equal to kappa into 1000 upon molarity if it is expressed in Simon centimeter square mole inverse. But if you want to express it in meter square, Simon meter square mole inverse, then the formula changes a bit. Here molar conductivity is equal to conductivity upon 1000 into molarity. Its units are also important. Then experimentally, how will you measure electrical conductivity? And that is through Wheatstone bridge, which you have done in physics. So children, revise the chapter properly, learn all the formulas, they'll be used while solving the numericals, and hope to see you in the next class. Thank you.